From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, September 25th. It's going to be a beautiful day, partly sunny. A few more clouds the more west you go. Highs in the upper 70s. We really need the rain, and there is some rain in the forecast for tomorrow. A potential path forward to end the writers' strike in Hollywood. The Writers Guild of America announced late last night a tentative deal with the major studios, 146 days after picketing began. It's a 3-year contract deal hammered out in a 5-day run of renewed talks. The union says picketing is suspended, but that writers will stay off the job for now. There are 2 hurdles to clear. The board for the guild and the membership must decide whether to approve the deal. So far, there's no signal that the actors' strike is reaching a similar end. Ford says it has made progress in negotiations with the United Auto Workers Union, but significant gaps remain. According to a report from Reuters, Ford says the issues are interconnected and they're working toward mutual success. In contrast, the union expanded its strike against GM and Stellantis on Friday, sparing Ford because of the progress. So far, no Indiana plants are impacted. President Biden is set to walk the picket line with union members in Michigan tomorrow, which would mark the first time a president has done so. Federal departments and agencies are starting the wind down of non-essential functions as they prepare for a government shutdown. Congress has until 1 minute after midnight Sunday morning to reach a deal to keep the government funded. A shutdown could leave nearly 4 million federal employees without pay. A deal to head off the shutdown is stalled in the House, where Speaker Kevin McCarthy has struggled to unite Republicans. Conservative hardliners are blocking McCarthy's proposals. Here are comments from a Democrat working on a deal and a lead negotiator for the Republicans lashing out at holdouts on his side of the aisle.
We're going to make sure that we can get a vote done, and that means getting the support of both sides to the table.
The arsonists have lit their house on fire. They're whining about their house burning. They're going to want credit for putting the fire out, and then they're going to set up a GoFundMe to get paid for what happened.
If the shutdown happens, essential activities that would continue include the issuance of Social Security checks, most Homeland Security activities, and, at least to begin, the federal courts. Now to your vote 2023. The candidates for Southport mayor say the city's small size will not stop them from bringing more business to town. News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist sat down with both for Sunday's edition of All Indiana Politics.
Southport is landlocked by the city of Indianapolis. It's the smallest municipality both by geographic size and by population in Marion County. I asked each of the candidates how they plan to work around that to help grow Southport's economy.
One of the tools we have, like most other cities, is a redevelopment commission. And in the current agreement that we have with Rebar Development, we used our redevelopment commission tools. That's our biggest help. We have a small budget, and so we have to be clever and resourceful. I've been trying to work with different developers to point out our location is similar to what you would hear from a real estate agent: location, location, location. So we're trying to capitalize on that. And in terms of affordable housing, we have 2 different housing stocks. There's a very old part of Southport, and then there's a newer edition that was built in the 1960s and 70s. And I think the housing that we have is really quite good. We're in Perry Township with Perry Township Schools, so we have a lot to offer. We just need to kickstart our downtown development, and I think our apartment building will do that for us.
Because a lot of the homes in Southport are older homes, they're grandfathered in for property taxes, and they have different caps on them. And so we don't have a lot of money coming into the city. I think that is a big challenge, because one of the things that we do have that's fantastic in Southport is our police force. And one of the challenges we're having now is how do we continue to get good people and retain top talent on that police force with the budget that we currently have. And that's something that I'm really interested in getting into, is looking at the budget and seeing how we can rearrange money, see what opportunities we have for economic development, and go from there.
Early voting begins on October 11th. Election Day itself is on November 7th. All Indiana Politics airs every Sunday morning at 9:30, only on Wish TV. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
IMPD says a man is seriously wounded after a shooting on the east side. It happened yesterday afternoon at the Clark gas station near 21st and Ritter. Medics took the victim to the hospital in critical condition. No word yet on suspects or arrests. We are working to learn more about what led up to the shooting. Authorities in Monroe County released the name of a man killed when a tractor ran over him. It happened Friday on State Road 45 near the Greene County line. The Sheriff's Department says Justin Ratliff was driving a tractor with Larry Martindale. Authorities say the tractor hit a large ditch, throwing Martindale off, and the tractor ran over him. Medics pronounced Martindale dead at the scene. A local doctor is offering advice on how to deal with congestion after an FDA panel announced updated guidance on nasal congestant pills. According to the panel, pills with the drug phenylephrine are not effective. Experts say there are alternatives when it comes to using the drug, such as a nasal spray form. However, Dr. Elisa Illing with IU Health says problems can arise after using those for more than a week.
We as ENT doctors recommend it commonly for flare-ups of viral infections that cause nasal congestion, sometimes for allergy congestion, but not for more than 1 week at a time, because if you use it too much, you can get a rebound congestion following that, which is worse than how stuffy and congested you were initially.
Dr. Illing says anyone with nasal congestion issues should talk with their doctors if they have specific concerns about allergy or cold medications. To the Colts, long-distance history lifts the team to an improbable victory in Baltimore. Matt Gay made a record 4 kicks from beyond 50 yards, tying the game to get to overtime, then nailing a final field goal to stun the Ravens. Baltimore wasted 2 chances in overtime with great field positioning. The Colts took advantage, driving close enough to set Gay up for a 5th field goal as the clock wound down.
I couldn't tell you what happened. I don't remember the snap, the hold. I kind of just snap goes and I go, and then I'm looking up and I see the ball. And so for me, that's a good sign when I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just back there kicking, and it means I'm fluid and I'm just going and I'm reacting as opposed to thinking.
Head coach Shane Steichen now has 2 wins in his first 3 games as the team's leader. He says the team's gaining confidence by the week.
Just the resiliency that our guys showed through the whole, 5 quarters of the football game to find a way to win that game was huge. It just showed how hard these guys have been working to finish games, so it was really good to see.
The team's win is its first in Baltimore since 2009. Up next, a return home to face the LA Rams. The game kicks off Sunday from Lucas Oil Stadium at 1 o'clock. An expert from Purdue is breaking down the pros and cons of artificial turf on football fields. The topic gained new attention and a demand from NFL players after the season-ending injury of future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. Cal Bigelow is a turf grass scientist and professor at Purdue University's College of Agriculture. He says there are drawbacks of both natural and artificial turf grass in sports settings. Bigelow says while natural grass is favored by many athletes, it's more susceptible to wear and tear during periods of heavy use. In contrast, synthetic fields can better withstand the rigors of sports. In terms of safety, he says the answer isn't yet crystal clear, but some data appears to slightly favor natural gas as the safer option.
Bottom line is we don't have all the data yet. And there are a number of studies that are being conducted throughout the United States, throughout the world actually, looking at the safety factors and injury rates on natural grass as opposed to some of our synthetic fields. The data seems to indicate that it depends, right? And it depends upon a whole bunch of different factors. It depends upon the athlete. It depends upon the sport.
Bigelow also mentioned that in certain situations like frozen field conditions, synthetic turf may be the safer choice. The NFL Players Union has called on the league to convert all playing fields to natural grass. But the debate regarding the safety of artificial turf grass in sports is far from settled and needs more research. INDOT is gearing up for winter. The department is hiring seasonal positions that run from early November through early April. Pay starts at $21 an hour for full-time positions, $25 an hour for on-call snowplow operators. A commercial driver's license is required. Hiring events are happening in Clarksville, Bloomington, and Columbus tomorrow from 10 to 3. William Byron heads to the next round of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs after a thrilling victory at Texas Motor Speedway. Yesterday's race marked the first of 3 in the series round of 12. It came down to a restart on the final 6 laps. Byron made a late push, taking his first lead of the day. He held it and clinched the win. It's the 6th of the year. The win also marks a record 300th victory for Hendricks Motorsports. Drivers will be back for the second round of 12 race Sunday at Talladega Speedway. Officials in Maui are said to begin lifting restrictions on entry to Lahaina today. It comes 7 weeks after the deadliest U.S. wildfire in more than a century moved through that area, killing at least 97 people. Authorities have divided the burn area into 17 zones with dozens of subzones. They say property owners of the first zone are allowed to return on supervised visits today and tomorrow. Officials say things like water, medical, and mental health care and transportation assistance will be available. They're asking people to not sift through the ashes for belongings over fears of raising toxic dust. Fire officials say the number of firefighters who have died from 9/11 related illnesses now equals the number of those killed during the terrorist attacks. According to the New York Fire Department, 343 firefighters have now died from illnesses suffered as a result of the attacks. It says 11,000 firefighters suffer from World Trade Center related diseases, including 3,500 who have cancer. 2 firefighter unions are set to hold a press conference today about the new report. Free COVID-19 tests are available again through the federal government starting today. The Biden administration is relaunching the program and website as cases and hospitalizations rise. Each household can order up to 4 free tests intended for use through the end of the year. Price tag for the program is $600 million. And to business headlines, Rite Aid will reportedly close 400 to 500 stores as it plans to file for bankruptcy. The chain had billions in debt and also pending legal allegations that it overprescribed opioids. Credit card companies are racking up losses at the fastest pace in almost 30 years, except for the financial crisis in 2008. Goldman Sachs says credit card losses will continue to climb through the end of 2024. Credit card losses currently stand at 3.6%, up 1.5 percentage points from the bottom. Bob Dylan astonished thousands of fans at Willie Nelson's sold-out Farm Aid Festival with a surprise late-night performance Saturday at Ruoff Music Center in Noblesville. Joined by members of the Heartbreakers, the black-clad Dylan walked on stage without any introduction and played a short but intense set. The Energy Department has announced a $325 million investment in new battery types. The batteries can help turn solar and wind energy into 24-hour power. Batteries are increasingly being used to store surplus renewable energy so that it can be used later during times when there is no sunlight or wind. Amazon has announced that television shows and movies on its Prime Video service will start including limited advertisements early next year. Amazon says they need to run ads to keep creating original shows. If you don't want the ads, it'll cost $2.99 a month. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.